Welcome to the channel about a healthy lifestyle.
Many people underestimate the importance of healthy sleep, but if we don't get enough sleep, we may not feel it, but our productivity, efficiency, and intellectual capacity are diminished. And how you can improve your sleep, we will tell you in this video. Poor quality sleep negatively affects the immune system and our ability to resist viruses and bacteria. Studies have shown that if you don't get enough sleep, the risk of getting sick increases up to 3 times. Also, lack of sleep indirectly affects excess weight, because if you don't get enough sleep, you synthesize a substance called ghrelin, which is a hunger hormone, and so you start to eat more. Sleeping is not only rest for all the organs, but also cleansing, restoration of immunity, and structuring the information obtained during the day. When is the best time to go to bed? It is necessary to sleep in the dark. Melatonin production peaks at 2 a.m. and you should go to sleep at least 2 hours before that. On average, it is normal for an infant to sleep up to 17 hours during the day. If you are under the age of 3, you can sleep 10 to 13 hours a day. If you go to school, 9 to 11 hours is the norm for you. As an adult, it's normal to sleep 7 to 9 hours. But the interesting thing is that as an older person, the need for sleep decreases even more. A person after the age of 65 is already normal to sleep 6 to 7 hours. In fact, it is not so much the quantity of sleep that is important, but rather the quality. Sleep is a cyclical process, so it is best to wake up when your sleep is equal to 1.5 hours. That is, when the 1.5 hour cycle is complete. 6 hours, 7.5 hours, or 9 hours. It is best to go to bed before midnight. They say that every hour of sleep before midnight equals 2 hours of sleep. What is the correct sleeping position? The most correct position is on your back. It is in this position that you have the best. Your whole body relaxes and your spine feels comfortable. In this position, your intervertebral discs stretch and fill with fluid. Have you noticed that you are a little taller in the morning than in the evening? Sleeping in this position helps to keep your skin young. There is no contact between your skin and the pillow, so there are no wrinkles or creases. Suitable for this position and for those who suffer from heartburn, the stomach is down and food transfers occur less frequently. However, there are some problems here as well. For those who have diseases related to the respiratory system, is better not to sleep on their back. When sleeping on your back, problems such as snoring and obstructive sleep apnea syndrome, short-term respiratory arrest in sleep, occur more often. These problems can cut quality rest time in half. That is, instead of 8 hours of proper rest, you will get 4. The problem of snoring and apnea can often be solved with a comfortable mattress and pillow. The mattress should not be too soft. Otherwise, overnight instead of a rested spine, you can get pain in the chest and even intercostal neuralgia. For those who suffer from swollen legs and cannot sleep because of discomfort, you can put a pillow under your shins so that it goes from your knees to your feet. This will help the fluid flow from the bottom to the top and help the venous valves to rest. If pain in the lower back prevents you from sleeping, put a small roller under it, repeating the shape of the curve of your back. It will help distribute the load, and you will sleep peacefully. When choosing a pillow, you should make a compromise. It should not be too soft. On a soft pillow, the head in the supine position will be tilted back, tongue against the throat. Such a position causes snoring and even sleep apnea. The pillow should not be too high or you will earn pain in the neck and cervical chondroitin and clamp the important vessels that feed the brain. And this, in turn, will lead to oxygen starvation of brain cells. Choose a pillow so that when you lie down, your head is just above body level and does not fall backward. Sleeping on your side. Most people sleep on their side. It is the same as sleeping on the back. Allows one to unload the spine, especially the lumbar spine. That's why sleeping on your side is so popular with pregnant women. True, this position is not suitable for everyone. If you lie still for a long time in this position, muscles can get tight and cause pain. Which side you sleep on also makes a difference. It's better for people with cardiovascular diseases not to lie on the left side for a long time. This will lead to a shift of blood flow towards the heart and increase the load on it. But it is not recommended to sleep on the right side for those who have stomach problems. This may lead to the transfer of food residues into the esophagus and the occurrence of unpleasant sensations. Those who have snoring problems should sleep on their side. In this position, the tongue does not fall to the larynx, in order to make sleeping on your side more comfortable. You should choose the optimal height of the pillow. It should be at shoulder level. This will relieve pain in the neck and dislocation of the spinal discs. Align your back. This will help reduce lateral deformities of the spine. You can also reduce the strain on your spine and joints while you sleep by using a special pillow that goes over your entire body. It is usually sold in departments for pregnant women. You can put your leg on the pillow and put it as a roller under your side and neck. Sleeping on your stomach. People with intestinal problems usually turn over on their stomachs while sleeping. This position brings relief to abdominal bloating. The stomach, covered on all sides, brings a sense of security. This position is suitable for anxious people. In fact, very few people sleep on their stomachs. The position on the stomach is very uncomfortable for our body. The abdominal organs are compressed, and the neck curves unnaturally during sleep. If you still cannot give up sleeping on your stomach, it can be made a little less traumatic. The pillow for those who sleep on their stomachs should be low. You can remove it altogether. This will decrease neck deformity and decrease the tension of the collar zone muscles. For patients with inflammations and peptic ulcers, it is not a good idea to sleep on your stomach. Compression of the peritoneum leads to reflux, heartburn, and pain. On the stomach, breathing becomes difficult, heart function deteriorates, and blood and lymph flow is impaired. This leads to swelling of the face or legs, depending on the angle of the sleeper. What are the main recommendations for normal sleep? First, at least 1 hour before you go to bed, you should exclude absolutely all gadgets, computers, phones, and TV. It is necessary to do this for 2 reasons. 1. When we look at electronic gadgets, we excite our psyche. Looking at flashing pictures before going to bed overloads the brain with information and can cause insomnia. If we go to bed immediately afterward, it is much harder for us to tune into sleep. 2. When we look at electronic gadgets and we blink 3 times less often, our eyes dry up and we burn off melatonin through our retinas. Melatonin is the substance responsible for deep quality sleep. Secondly, you should not eat too much before going to bed. It is desirable to have the last meal before going to bed for at least 3 hours and not heavy food. Also, it is also useful to drink a glass of kefir or yogurt an hour before going to sleep. This will have a great effect on your microflora, your immune functions, and on the quality of sleep. You also need to minimize your caffeine intake. Caffeine is found not only in coffee, but also in tea, chocolate, cocoa beans, and some medications. Caffeine interferes with the formation of melatonin, and it excites our central nervous system. Thirdly, the room in which you sleep should be perfectly dark. That is, no light, no penetration of any rays of light as much as possible. Also, there should be silence. If you cannot achieve maximum silence, at least use earplugs. Be sure to ventilate the room before going to bed. The excess of carbon dioxide makes you sleepy, but it does not give you proper rest. We sleep better in a slightly cooler room. The golden rule of good sleep is to adhere to the regime of sleep and rest. Go to bed at the same time all the time and get up at the same time. It is recommended to take a walk before going to bed, but in no case, do not do a serious physical activity just before going to bed. It is also very healthy to read a book before going to bed. A paper one, not a gadget. Use the bedroom only for sleeping or for something pleasant, because if you live and work in the bedroom, it will very much affect your ability to fall asleep. There are also recommendations on how to get up in the morning. The most strong is to get up abruptly and rush. Get ready, brush your teeth, get dressed, and run. It is recommended that after you wake up, say good morning to yourself. Take a few breaths and at first gradually sit on the bed. Sit in this position for about a minute and only then get up and go. This is very important because if you make sudden jerks getting out of bed, it is bad for your heart and cardiovascular system in general. And then go to the kitchen and drink a glass of warm water. Some still recommend adding lemon juice or honey to the glass, but it is better to drink just warm water with a temperature close to body temperature. There is a video on the channel about the benefits of drinking warm water. If you follow all these recommendations, you will feel the joy of a good night's sleep, after which you will wake up cheerful, full of energy, and ready for new achievements. Friends, share in the comments if you have problems with sleep and how you deal with it. How do you feel about sleeping during the day? I also recommend you watch my other video on the benefits of lifting your legs vertically up. I recommend you do this exercise before you go to bed. Thank you for your likes, comments, and subscriptions. At the bottom of the video, you will find a lot more useful information. All the best to you.
I wish you health.